So today I am sitting here on the Bolivar Peninsula. I probably said that wrong, but whatever. So you probably hear the ocean waves behind me. And once a year, I take the time to just disconnect from my everyday life and take time to come out to the beach, get a beach house and sit. And for the past maybe 2 years, I have been doing that with a group of ladies. First year, the group changed drastically the second year. And each year that I've come and done this, most years I just come by myself. Or at the time I would bring my little one, Hobby, some of y'all probably know. And I would just sit and just listen to the ocean crash and the waves and all that. And this year was a little bit different because I brought my husband. And so we've been married. Yes, married girls. Ladies and gentlemen, your girl is married. But it wasn't something that was quick. I got married about 1.5 years ago after being single for 12 years. Hello, talk about life. And so coming out here this year with my family was huge, just because for so long, for 12 years or 11 years, really more like 11, 11 years, I was single for so long that I grew so independent on doing things on my own and not really necessarily feeling like I needed to include anyone else. And so beyond God and my kid, that was it. Maybe my mom. But this year was such a drastic year to come out here and to vision cast with my daughter, who's now 12, my husband, and my heart coming right back to that reset where I reset each year to just refocus and revamp what God is doing, where God is calling me, and calling out to God. What is my word for the year? I don't want to just pick a word. I don't know if you've ever heard of picking a word for the year, or you may have seen people post about that online. But what is your word? What does that mean? So picking a word for the year, it means different things to different people. For me, picking a word for the year is me taking the time to just refocus and pick a word that will be a resounding word for the year, that when times get tough or times are great, it will remind me of what God had placed on my heart at the beginning of the year as a vision for the year. In past years, I just started this about 2 years ago. So my very first year, my word was, maybe 3 years. My very first word was consistency. In that time, it was very hard for me to really focus and be consistent because I was kind of being just pulled every which way. And it was frustrating to me, but because I would start something and not finish it. And so that year, 365 days, I focused on being consistently showing up for my daughter, consistently showing up for ministry, consistently showing up for work, consistently rendering excellence in as many things as I possibly could do. And so I was being consistent. And in doing that, I developed new friendships. I developed a deeper understanding of God's word because I was being more consistent in reading my word. I lost a ton of weight just because I was being consistent in my workouts. Consistency over perfection is huge. Being consistent will take you to new heights you never thought you would ever go to by just being consistent, by continuously showing up. And so, and not only just showing up, but showing up to do the work. So in that season, I grew so much just being consistent. And then the next season of my life, I had a word that God gave me, and I was like, ooh, I don't know if this word, is going to resonate with other people. And I began to question that word. So instead of getting it maybe that were the first week of the year, it was probably like week 3 or week 4 before I was solidified on it, that if God gave it to me, no man can take it away. And so I decided I was going to use that word, and that was going to be my word for the year, that no matter what happened, I was going to implement this word. And that word was relentless. And some of the ladies I was doing our yearly word with, some question, maybe you should, just take some more time with the Lord, or, oh, I don't know if that one seems really, really aggressive. And so I was like, no, God gave me this word. This is my word. And I know he gave it to me because he confirmed it in me. And so thus relentless was my word. And so that season of my life, I would have to say I faced some very huge obstacles, some trials, some different things. And in that season, I feel like God knew that I needed to be relentless in my pursuit of him, relentless in my love for him, relentless in my just being still and knowing that he is God, and that no man can take from me what God has given to me. And so unless I choose to freely give it away, and even at that, God still stands at the door and knocks. And so I made a choice to say, no, this is my word. And that word was a word that carried with me not only for 1 year, but for 2 years. Because the next year, God didn't give me a new word. He gave me an intensity of the first word. And so this past year, and in that, let me tell you this, in that year, in that season of being relentless, God opened doors for me I never thought would be open. I met my husband during that year. We dated for about 3 months. And then from there, we got married. But with that, he pursued me and was patient with me. And I was in a 1 year of my life at that time where I was giving a year to God and not dating anyone, not talking to anyone, just focusing on God. So, of course, in that year, I had to be relentless in knowing what God had called me to. And at the end of that 1 year, God blessed me with my husband that I've been waiting for over 10 years at that time. And so I tell you that all these things because picking a word is powerful. And when you choose to pick a word, take the time to disconnect, to really hear what God is saying to you, what God is putting on your heart, what God is calling you to. Because what I have found is that word has been a word that I've had to cling to for a year, in my best seasons and in my worst seasons. And God knew what I needed before I knew I needed it. And so I tell you this, take the time to pick a word. But anyway, so this year I'm out here at the beach. You probably hear the ocean waves behind me. And I'm just looking forward to a year of unwavering faith, unwavering hope, unwavering persistence, unwavering relentlessness, just unwavering grace, unwavering mercy for people and for the kingdom and for those that God places in my path this year. It is my goal to just be all that God has called me to be and love on people for who they are. And so I haven't always been in this season of my life where that's been my heart, but I am in that season right now, and I know that God is calling me to that. And so that's my word for this year is unwavering. Unwavering consistency. Put it with whatever you'd like. But at the end of the day, my word is unwavering for this year. And so I hope that each and every one of you all who are listening to this, I have no idea if anybody would ever listen to this. But my hope is that you will take the time to disconnect and refocus on where God is calling you, what he's calling you to do and into, and be okay that if what he gives you isn't going to be popular amongst those who are around you or in your inner circle. Because if God gave it to you, let no man take it away. So be encouraged, y'all. I hope you're having a phenomenal beginning of the year. You are loved, you are cherished, and you are seen. So be blessed. This is April Walker Davis. I mean, I would consider this my first podcast. I don't know. I don't even know if I'll post this. But be a person who makes a difference no matter where you are. And so just be that person and be a light in the darkness no matter what you face and no matter how people treat you. Be the difference. And so, all right, I'm just rambling at this point, but what a great year it is already. So I look forward to seeing what happens next. This is January 4th, 2023. April Walker Davis signing off.